Good afternoon and good morning. This is James Loy of Loyalty360 welcoming you to our ongoing Thought Leadership and Loyalty series. And today we have Kyle Morton, Chief Product Officer and founder of HapYak Interactive Video, which helps brands discover the power and customer engagement benefits of leveraging integrated interactive videos. So Kyle, thank you so much for being here today. So our first question is, what are some of the biggest challenges in creating measurable customer experiences to drive customer loyalty? And how do you recommend that brands measure efficacy?
So the biggest challenges that our customers face are noise, right? Noise with the materials that are available to users. The fact that they can get information about anything from anywhere online. So it's competition in search, it's competition with social media. So finding a way to cut through that clutter and establish trust with their buyers is really the biggest thing that they're facing, and trying to experiment with new ways to make those connections. What we see as being a technique that's particularly important is creating experiences, right? So thinking about not just the content and the noisy content that's available, but thinking about how brands can create and deliver a really unique customer experience that will actively engage folks, meet their needs in their particular moment of search, so they then come back and they're more comfortable engaging with that brand in the future.
And what are some of the biggest opportunities and challenges for brands and marketers today? And if you could recommend one thing to a client or even a prospective client, what would that be?
So in terms of one thing that's really important to cut through and be noticed, it comes down to effective communication, right? And effective communication are things like we're doing right here. It's video content itself and creating and producing video content, because our brains are hardwired to receive messages through images and sound, through people. So in fact, on-camera video is particularly effective. So it's an opportunity to seize that moment, to produce that type of content, which is naturally more engaging because it's how we think, how we respond. But it is also absolutely a challenge as companies try to find the talent, try to find the workflow processes in order to meet that need. And we try to help people along that spectrum of needs so they really can seize that opportunity.
And how would you say, how sophisticated, from your point of view, are customer experience and customer loyalty initiatives of most brands today? And how would interactive video fit into this? And where do you see that going in the future?
Yeah, so there's ever and rapidly increasing sophistication. So what we see with video, people know that when you produce video content, you rank higher in a search. When you provide video along with product information, you have higher conversion rates and larger cart sizes, right, from an e-commerce perspective. So video is important, and what we see is people start with the content itself, and then they add interactivity in order to generate data, right? So interactivity that lets people choose their path through the content to more quickly get to that conversion action or to whatever the goal is that the user has in mind, that their audience has in mind. So using interactive techniques is definitely an area where we're seeing a lot more sophistication, because it creates data that can be used to make really incremental but methodical decisions that ultimately improve those outcomes, the repeat visits, and the conversions.
And what would you say, what is the single most important thing that you do or have done over a period of engagement that helps customers or your clients increase customer loyalty?
Sure. I'd say the single most important thing that we do with our clients is try to help them go slow and approach it strategically. So rather than thinking of using video or interactive video as a big bang marketing moment, we try to help them understand that they first need to understand the specific goals, to understand that it's going to involve many pieces of content that'll be created over weeks, months, years, right, as an ongoing strategy, and then put the pieces in place so they always know what the goal is. They have their measurement locked down, so they know how they're going to measure that success and progress along the ways. And then we try to empower people with the best practices. So they have techniques. If the data is going one way, they know what to do. If the data is going another way, they have another set of tools to bring to the fore. So if there's one single thing, it's document your goal, right? Document your goal. What is it? What's the one thing you want to achieve? And then think about how you're going to measure it. And then think about the actual content, video, technology, all of those other details. But start with clear business objectives. And we always try to guide people on that path.
And if you could ask, we call this our crystal ball question. If you could ask a customer or a competitor one question, what would it be? Like if you had a crystal ball and you could ask it anything, what would you like to know? What would you like to gain more insight on? Yeah,
so that's a great thing because we do ask people all the time what it is that they need to know, right? What we try to understand is video is traditionally a black hole of data, and we try to fill that void with lots and lots of critical data. But the problem is people don't always know the right questions to ask, right? So we help people formulate those questions. An area specifically that we're exploring right now that I'd love to get more input on and understand how people could use it has to do with real-time data. So I guess I'd say, if you had access to real-time engagement data like is possible with interactive video, how would that change your overall customer engagement strategy?
All right, great. And finally, last question, simply, what do you think is the future of customer loyalty?
So I think the future of customer loyalty is going to be more communication, more effective communication across every channel and across every possible touch point. So thinking about how conversations can be facilitated largely through video will be the theme that we see in every type of marketing, every type of outreach that happens between companies and their customers. So more and more sophistication around managing conversations, having conversations, understanding what engagement really is across all the different content types. And once you create those compelling moments, those active conversations, that's when you measure contextual relevancy, user satisfaction, self-directed engagement. That creates loyalty, brand affinity, and ultimately increased lifetime value.
Wonderful, Kyle. Well, thank you again for talking to us today, and we really appreciate all of your insight.
Thanks very much. My pleasure.